Good morning. This is your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. Still seeing plenty of sun out there this morning with some additional thin high clouds starting to move into the area. Temperature has climbed to 60 degrees and seeing a steady breeze out of the south so far. Overall today we will see some breezy conditions developing as we move through the day today, becoming fairly breezy in the afternoon with some stronger wind gusts. A good chance of seeing a wind advisory today and a good chance of seeing that hold on through the evening into tomorrow as well, with some warmer temperatures moving into the area as well as we move through the weekend. But overall, no precipitation or lightning expected today and should stay dry as we move through the entirety of the weekend. Take a look at the current surface analysis. High pressure and control over the area. We'll see that receding off to the east and southeast as we move through the day today. This tighter pressure gradient moves in over the region, bringing those breezy conditions, and with that southerly component to the wind, we'll bring in those milder temperatures, particularly as we get into tomorrow with a more southwesterly component. And we'll see this disturbance tracking off to the east-northeast and bring a boundary into our area as we get later into the weekend and into the start of next week. Looking at the upper level winds from this morning, sounding had some southerly winds near the surface, becoming southwesterly to westerly, and eventually northwesterly as we get up in the upper levels. Fairly weak winds through the column, seeing our peak wind to 34 knots at 25,000 feet, and the freezing level this morning was at 9,900 feet. Current visible satellite showing those thin high clouds moving through the region. Again, expecting those to continue to be on the increase, but still plenty in the way of sun, maybe some filtered sun as we get later in the afternoon and into the first part of the evening. But otherwise, maybe a few clouds around 5 or 10,000 feet, but nothing too significant at this expected as we move through the day today. We'll take a look at the European model, see how things play out as we move through the next 7 days. Again, as mentioned, we have that area of high pressure is going to track off to the southeast. That tighter pressure gradient moving in, bringing those breezy conditions and mild conditions as we move through today and into tomorrow. No precipitation expected, just breezy conditions. Good chance of seeing a wind advisory again later today into tomorrow. And then we see that boundary starting to sink southward into our region, particularly as we get into the start of next week. Now, the European model here has more of a weather solution as we get into the start of next work week. With that boundary sinking through on Sunday, we'll see the winds shifting onshore, a bit of a cooler day later in the day on Sunday, and then we'll see that boundary lifting back north as we move into Monday as another warm front. And the European model does show a few possibilities for some showers across that as we move through the day on Monday. Again, the European model is more of a weather solution as we move through Monday and Tuesday, with the second front coming through during the daytime hours on Tuesday, possibly bringing some showers once again during the day on Tuesday. I will note that some of the other global models have this boundary weaker and drying out as it moves through the area. So still some uncertainty there as those models diverge on if and how much rain we do see for the Monday and Tuesday time frame. But pretty good agreement that that boundary dissipates or pushes through the area as we move through the middle of next week, with most likely dry conditions prevailing through Wednesday as well as into Thursday, and possibly maybe some rain chances moving through as we get into next weekend, but a bit far out to really narrow that down at this time. So looking at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, main risk through the day today will be those elevated winds, starting off with a yellow risk this morning. Do expect some of those peak gusts getting up into the 23 knot range later this morning, eventually peaking out of the south 10 to 15 knots, gusting up to 25 knots, so we increase to an orange risk as we get into the afternoon, and staying pretty steady as we move through the next 24 hours at those levels. We'll see those winds shifting more southwesterly as we get into the early morning hours of Saturday, so keeping that orange risk through the next 24 hours. We'll see a seasonable day with a high around 66 degrees this afternoon. And again, as mentioned, plenty of sun with mainly just some high clouds around the area. And those high clouds will stick around as we get into the start of the day on Saturday. And with those breezy conditions, won't see much change or much of a drop in the temperatures as we move through the overnight. Our low expected around 59 degrees, which is quite mild for this time of year. Tides running normal. Saturday we'll see partly to mostly cloudy conditions at times. We'll see breezy conditions continuing and a warmer day with a high of 79 degrees. Could see that maybe even hitting 80 degrees as we move through the day on Saturday. But keeping that orange risk for those elevated winds, likely seeing a wind advisory through the day on Saturday as well. Keep the clouds around Saturday evening with just a slight breeze, mainly early on through, but back to green conditions for our weather risk. We'll see a mild evening with a low of 61 degrees, and that sets up for a mild morning on Sunday. Expecting our high temperature of 72 degrees for the first part of the day on Sunday with partly to mostly cloudy conditions. As that boundary sinks through the area, we'll see those winds shifting onshore. It's going to bring in some cooler air and some slightly breezy winds with that, but still looking at green conditions for our weather risk. If we look at the extended forecast here, keeping a 20% chance of rain for Monday and Tuesday with those two boundaries potentially moving through the area, bringing that potential forcing for some precip activity. Otherwise, we'll see breezy conditions for Monday, highs in the mid to upper 60s, back into the 70s as we move into Tuesday, and then we'll see plenty of sun as we move into Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures back in the upper 60s to right around 70s, and through that period we'll see our low temperatures bottoming out in the 50s for that time period. So that's going to wrap up the 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again on Monday at 8:15 and 10 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy your weekend.